I respect LAFC. I respect the names and the caliber of players that they have. But I feel like we can have a go. I feel like we could have a go with them.
So Austin versus LAFC, that is round 1 of the playoffs. It's set in stone. Just real quick, I know it's very early, but any predictions for the series overall? Who do you think makes it through? If you don't want to answer, it's also cool. If you want to say that you want to see how game 1 plays out, I would accept that answer.
LAFC의 상대인 오스틴 FC가 서부리그 순위 6위로 3년 만에 플레이오프에 복귀하면서 구단 안팎은 축제 분위기로 한창입니다. 오스틴 FC 팬들은 MLS 시즌 마지막 날 아직 경기 결과가 나오지 않은 상황에서 LAFC와 플레이오프 1라운드에서 맞붙는 가상 시나리오를 그리며 흥미롭게 리뷰를 이어갔습니다.
I want to start off with you, B. What is your take on the build-up to this best-of-3 series? Like I mentioned at the beginning of the pod, Austin has been out of the playoff picture for so long.
Oh, man, look, on paper, bro, on paper, I'm scared. On paper, Boanga season, the numbers, Heung-min Son being a part of this squad, on paper, I'm scared, bro. I respect LAFC. I respect the names and the caliber of players that they have. But I feel like we can have a go. I feel like we could have a go with them. I feel like we have an opportunity to go through. You know, is that a crazy take from my end?
It's not a crazy take. And let me add to your point here. Obviously, we know what LAFC is and has done this season. They're no secret. We know what their success is, where their success is coming from. Denny Boanga, Heung-min Son, proper DP players that are performing to the best level that they can.
Yeah.
And you know what, mate? There's been upsets in a lot of different sports. And I know that, you have to kind of hope and pray for an upset, but they happen. And the reality is that folks don't know, or maybe they're starting to learn this new best-of-3 series. But in the best-of-3, there is no extra time. But if Austin uses the back 5, it works for them. They contain LA to either a 1-1 or a 0-0, hell, maybe a 2-2, right? If you get a draw, there's no extra time. You go straight to penalties. And what did I tell you earlier? Maybe on paper, B, it's 70% for LA, 30% for Austin FC. But if you make it to a penalty kick shootout, what does it turn to?
50-50, I think.
It turns into a 50-50, mate. And if you had to put your money, your hard-earned cash, on Lloris or Brad Stuver in a penalty shootout, where's
Brad.
your money going? Bradley Scott Stuver. But the game plan for game 1B has to be that. Has to be go to LA, try to get something, either a win or a draw. You got nothing to lose because everybody has Austin FC out already.
Yeah.
Everybody has Austin FC out, eliminated.
The neutrals
down
have them out. The LAFC fans have them out. Even some of our fans are saying we're out.
So this is house money, no? This is house money. And in the best-of-3 series, if you can get to a penalty kick shootout when you're an Austin FC playing against an LAFC, that's a way to get to game 2, which is at your house at Q2 with the ball in your court.
Yeah.
오스틴 팬들이 LAFC와의 가상 맞대결에서 자신감 넘치는 모습으로 선택한 전략은 바로 승부차기까지 끌고 가는 것이었습니다. 오스틴 FC 감독 역시 플레이오프 사전 인터뷰에서 LAFC에 대한 대비책을 전했는데요.
Y esta es la primera vez que Austin se va a enfrentar en un formato del mejor de 3 en los playoffs. ¿Cómo prepara el equipo para este tipo de formato y donde, si bien no es eliminación directa en un partido, puede llegar a eso y cada partido importa?
Bueno, yo tuve la experiencia en 2023 de jugar este formato. Es un formato muy americano, ¿no? Que viene también de otros deportes. Y bueno, si bien te da la opción de no quedar eliminado a primeras de cambio, ¿no? Entonces, como que te da más vida. Lo que es importante es que para nosotros tenemos que ganar un partido fuera de casa, eso seguro, y ganar el de casa para poder pasar. Es un formato en el que no hay empate después del partido, sino hay un ganador y un perdedor. Por lo tanto, tenemos que tener esa mentalidad de saber que podemos ir a penaltis y tenemos que estar bien preparados para esa opción. Podríamos ir a penaltis en los 3 partidos si se empatasen los 3 durante el minuto 90. Por lo tanto, tiene muchas diferencias a lo que un partido de knockout normalmente tiene. Por lo tanto, tenemos que estar preparados para todo eso.
감독 역시 플레이오프 데뷔책 우선순위로 승부차기 전략을 들고 나왔습니다. 서부리그 3위와 6위의 맞대결이지만 LAFC의 일방적인 우세 분위기는 여기저기서 나오고 있었습니다. 현지 매체에서도 오스틴 FC, 플레이오프에서 LAFC를 상대로 험난한 과제에 직면하다라는 기사에 전력으로 보면 오스틴 FC는 이번 3전 2선승제 시리즈의 거대한 언더독이다. 데이터 분석 사이트에서는 오스틴의 2라운드 진출 확률을 17%로 예측했다. 이는 플레이인 경기를 거치지 않은 팀 가운데 가장 낮은 수치다. 하지만 오스틴은 정규 시즌에서 LAFC를 상대로 2차례 승리한 희귀한 팀이다. 두 경기 모두 1대0으로 이겼고 LAFC를 유효 슈팅 사회로 묶었다라고 분석했습니다. 기사는 이어서 하지만 그 경기에서 한 선수가 보이지 않았다. 바로 손흥민이다. 그는 두 경기 모두 출장하지 않았다. 이제 오스틴이 취해야 할 가장 현명한 전략은 명확하다. 니코 에스테베스 감독의 수비 조직력을 믿고 스타 골키퍼 브래드 스투버를 믿고 손흥민과 득점 2위 부안가의 폭발적인 공격을 온몸으로 막아내야 한다라며 손흥민 선수의 결장으로 얻은 승리에 불안감과 경계를 드러냈습니다. 오스틴 감독과의 인터뷰에서 기자들 역시 손흥민 선수와 흥부 듀오의 우선순위를 둔 질문들을 던졌는데요.
Coach, it's no secret, Son is one of the best players. You know, since he got here, he's been terrorizing this league. Have you or any of your staff kind of focused in on him and see how you guys can maybe neutralize him? How do you plan on dealing with somebody like him? And what are some of his qualities that you like from him?
Well, I think Son is a player that has a lot of qualities. You know, he's a player that has enough speed to running behind. He's a player that in a 1v1 can go inside or go outside. Had a really good shot with the right foot and left foot. He also is a really good link-up play. Like he come underneath and he can lay off the ball really well. Also, he can turn, he can assist. Like he's a very, very complete player. This is why the numbers that he's having in just his arrival, he's making the difference for LAFC, and he's making an impact in the league because he has all the attributes to be a top player in this league. And then for us is knowing where he likes to navigate a little bit, what resources we're going to need, what players we're going to need to focus on, and then what kind of movements he likes to do in order that we have very clear who is going to, step on him in some moments and how we can double team him some moments and all these things.
And then given what you've seen of Son and Bouanga together, how do you stop them?
I mean, I think it's a collective effort. I think probably since they've been playing, I think they've scored or contribute with assist in every game that they play together. Then non-team has stopped them yet. And this says a lot about the quality of these players. We feel confident on our talent, on our roster, and our players, but also a collective game plan that will allow us to do well. We know anytime you play against quality players that they can bring something out of nothing, and it doesn't matter how good your plan is. I always put example of Messi and Jordi Alba. Probably every team just train how to defend that combination throughout the whole time, and every game they have a chance, or they score a goal throughout that combinations. For that reason, I think for us it's important that we focus on the collective. We focus on how we can deal collectively against them, but also how we can be better on the attacking third, in order that if they bring something out of nothing and they punish us, that we also can punish them.
영상 초반 등장한 오스틴 팬들의 자신 있던 모습이 대진 확정 후에는 어떻게 변했을까요?
So Austin versus LAFC, that is round 1 of the playoffs. It's set in stone. Just real quick, I know it's very early, but any predictions for the series? overall? Who do you think makes it through? If you don't want to answer, it's also cool. If you want to say that you want to see how game 1 plays out, I would accept that answer. Because we've never been in this part. We've never been in this part of town. These game 3s or best of 3 series, they're different.
I want to see what the game 1 plays out, brother.
Okay, you're going to hold on.
I want to hold.
I'll say this. I'll say Austin has no right to win this series. They have no right to be ahead of LAFC because of obviously the names, the firepower, the way that LAFC has been playing this season with the introduction of Heung-min Son.
오스틴 팬들의 기대대로 승부차기로 끌고 갈지, 손흥민 선수의 돌풍을 이어가며 LAFC가 독주를 하게 될지 벌써부터 많은 관심이 쏠리고 있습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
安喜莹就很像之前的安塞龙，非常像，断层式，没有谁能打得了。
看得出来，未来的4、5年，安喜莹的女单领域的地位基本上是稳的。
안세영 선수가 우승을 차지한 이번 2025 프랑스 오픈은 8강부터 결승까지 중국 선수들과 차례로 맞붙으며 그 어느 때보다 중국의 뜨거운 관심을 불러 모았습니다. 안세영 선수의 우승에 중국의 매체에서는 시즌 7번째 준우승, 프랑스 오픈 여자 단식 왕지이, 안세영의 0대2로 패배라는 기사에 왕지이는 이번 시즌 7번의 준우승을 했다. 그중 무려 6번이 안세영에게 패해 거둔 준우승이었다라며 중국 선수들이 넘어야 할 분명한 벽임을 확인시켰습니다. 이번 경기를 본 88 올림픽 금메달리스트이자 중국 배드민턴 레전드인 양양은 무너져버린 중국 선수들에게 일침을 날렸는데요.
昨天看了法国公开赛的决赛，安喜莹和王祉怡，比分悬殊还是比较大的，一个是3比21，一个是好像7比21，分数还是比较大的。我总觉得王祉怡啊没有完全的能够发挥自己的水平，他的打法还是太中规中矩了，也不能强势思想的主导意识应该是这么样。比赛之前要一个大的主导意识，我是拼他的。 我不是说一定要赢，但是我要拼，我要把它拼出来，这一个主导意识。
실력보다 투지가 없어진 중국 선수들을 향해 쓴소리를 날린 건 양양뿐만이 아니었습니다. 5대21에 이어 7대21, 왕지이, 안세영에게 완패 이후 시상식서 웃으며 너무 피곤했다 발언에 비판 쇄도라는 등의 기사로 선수들의 마인드를 문제 삼기도 했습니다.
Yeah, I feel like very tired. Yes, I think back to back it's a very big challenge. So I think I have to take good rest and recover. I think she played better than me, and yes, I made some mistake. Yes, and I feel like my knees is a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, my knees. Yeah, so I just try my best every point. Yes. Yeah, I think every time I play with her, I can learn some new, and let's looking forward to next time.
결승이 열리기 전 중국의 매체에서는 중국 여자 단식 3인방 안세영 집중 견제, 무릎붕대 투혼 한국 천재, 체력 전서 이길까라는 기사에 프랑스 오픈 결승은 안세영 1명에게 3명의 중국 선수가 차례로 도전하는 마지막 전장이다. 마지막 주자 왕지이가 남았지만 승산은 점점 희미해진다라며 우승의 비관적인 메시지를 전했습니다. 중국이 우승 문턱에서 번번이 안세영 선수에게 막히자 수디르만컵에서 장진 중국 배드민턴 협회장에게 중국의 기자들은 올해 안세영을 한 번도 이기지 못했는데 어떻게 해야 하나라고 질문을 던졌습니다.
我认为安喜莹确实是一个很难得的一个天才，因为她很早就出来比赛，也积累了很多经验。之前对于何冰娇跟陈雨菲对她也是胜多负少，后来通过她自身的努力，慢慢的也在提升，最后在巴黎奥运会获得了女单冠军。
중국 배드민턴 협회장마저 안세영 선수를 노력형 천재라고 말했습니다. 또한 이번 경기를 지켜본 중국의 전 배드민턴 선수 장유리는 안세영 선수가 압도적인 이유에 대해 설명을 했는데요.
3场安喜莹对战咱们国羽的王祉怡，第一局可是出现了5分的惨案。 这事反正没有多少人聊啊。我特意查了一下数据，2025年来安喜莹的胜率高达93.5%，这个数字我觉得太亮眼了，直逼2014年赛季的林丹。很多人好奇她怎么能有这么恐怖的统治力。其实咱们都知道啊，女生每个月难免有状态波动的那个时候，这很正常。但是在安喜莹身上好像就没有这回事儿，只要她上场，在1/4决赛之前，比赛基本都跟砍瓜切菜似的。安喜莹最强的地方，也是其他女选手难以模仿了，就是她那变态的稳定性。她很少用蛮力重杀，更多的是靠拉吊跟软压，全程能保证自己的这个不丢重心，始终占据主动。再就是她的这个铁膝盖，上网接球时呢，基本都会留一条腿在中场，这样能很快的回位。可这动作对膝盖的伤害极大，不是谁都能学的。加上她的这个惊人的体能，还有大赛积攒下来的经验，23岁的安喜莹在赛场上真的是这个势如破竹啊！看得出来，未来的4、5年，安喜莹的女单领域的地位基本上是稳的，说不定呢就是女单 F4里笑到最后的那位。不过咱们国羽女单怎么打破这个困局，后续能有怎么样的突破，我跟大家一样都在拭目以待。
전 배드민턴 선수 왕소우는 중국의 가오팡제 선수의 응원을 잊고 안세영 선수의 실력에 계속해서 감탄만 하기도 했습니다.
安喜莹就很像之前的安赛龙，非常像，断层式，没有谁能拿得了。我去，挺能帮我。哦，哎，漂亮！稳住，稳住，稳住，别急。安喜莹太稳了，千万不能急。小心，小心！太稳了，你看这控制，又进攻。哎呀，他这个收吊怎么这么打单打吸吊会多一点，对吧？但是他的那个收吊打的就非常的刁钻，他是在白线内的，那个点就非常的尖，而且质量非常高。是劈吊还是收吊，他的质量都可以保持这么的边线，这个就是他的能力，你知道吗？这就是为什么所有人打他都非常难。他太长时间没出来比赛了，再加上他之前有伤病嘛，不太适应场地也是有一定因素的，自己的状态也没有完全调节过来。哎呀，是新的。我去，滚我！咱们就给他后面的比赛继续加油吧，多鼓励鼓励他，真的。
중국의 매체에서는 계속된 중국 선수의 패배에 중국 여자 단식 선수들의 공황증이라는 기사를 통해 기술적인 차이도 존재하지만 결승에서의 대패는 심리적 붕괴가 더 큰 원인이다라며 중국 선수들에게 뼈있는 충고를 남겼습니다. 경기를 지켜본 중국의 팬들 역시 안세영 선수의 압도적인 기량차를 인정할 수밖에 없었습니다. 질 수는 있지. 근데 이렇게 형편없이 질 줄은 몰랐다. 왕지희는 경험도 많고 지금 전성기인데 5대21, 7대21은 좀 너무하잖아. 진짜 초등학생이 대학생이랑 경기한 수준임. 안세영 만나면 누구든 한 자릿수로 질걸? 여자 단식 역대급이다. 앞으로 5년 안에는 안세영 넘을 사람 없을 듯. 그래도 왕지희 파이팅하자. 안세영이 은퇴하지 않는 한 중국 여자 단식은 답이 없다. 안세영 이제 완전히 성장했네. 이제 성장이라니 이미 다 해먹었는데 이제 남은 건 고트 되는 것뿐이야. 안세영이 2028년 올림픽 여자 단식까지 또 우승하면 그땐 진짜 여자 배드민턴 고트 확정이다. 이미 고트인데 무적 안세영 진짜 무섭다. 중국 톱3가 달려들어도 못 이길 정도라니. 근데 겨우 23살이래. 진짜 괴물 맞아. 18살도 안 돼서 세계 랭킹 10위 찍고 21살에 올림픽 빼고 슈퍼 1000 다 쓸어버리고 여자 배드민턴 역사 통틀어 저런 기록 가진 사람은 안세영밖에 없어. 이번 대회로 안세영 선수는 자신이 기록한 단일 시즌 최다 개인 타이틀 10개에 단 하나, 세계 최고 기록 타이에 단 2개의 타이틀만을 남겨놓게 됐습니다. 이번 경기 직후 이제부터 내가 가는 길이 곧 역사라는 안세영 선수의 말처럼 압도적인 차이를 증명하며 올해 남은 대회에서 한국 배드민턴의 역사가 되기를 기대해봅니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
So it really has given us some momentum and some added belief that on a good day we can beat anybody.
Like, you don't really got to thank anybody at the end of the day. Like, if anything, he got to thank himself for putting the team on his back. You feel me?
It's
but
actually insane.
that just shows how humble he is as a person.
손흥민 선수의 LAFC가 드디어 오는 30일 MLS 재패에 나섭니다. LA BMO 스타디움에서 오스틴 FC와의 플레이오프 1라운드 1차전이 시작되면서 현지 매체에서는 손앤 부안과 LAFC의 브로맨스가 MLS 컵 꿈에 불을 지폈다라는 기사에 손흥민은 LAFC의 우승 여정을 상징하는 키워드로 자리 잡았다. 부안과도 손흥민과의 시너지 효과를 톡톡히 누리고 있다. 손흥민의 존재는 단순한 전력 보강을 넘어 LAFC의 정체성을 완성한 퍼즐 조각으로 평가된다. 겸손한 태도와 팀 중심적인 마인드는 클럽이 추구하는 문화와 완벽히 맞아떨어졌다라며 손흥민 선수의 태도가 LAFC를 더욱 특별하게 만들었다고 설명했습니다. MLS 팬들 역시 손흥민 선수가 보여주는 모든 태도에 호감을 보내고 있었습니다.
Look at LAFC, bro. Like, could anybody stop that team realistically?
So the best part about Heung-min Son in LA is that, and I don't know if you saw this clip, but he scores, I think he scored 2 against, is it Chicago? I forget who, but he scores twice. And he does this on-field interview with Apple TV, and he cooked, right? He like carried LAFC through that game. Best player on the pitch. You know, some guys also did their job.
Yeah.
But like, he's asked about it, asked about his performance, and he literally goes, I want to thank Hugo in goal, I want to thank Denny up front, I want to thank Steve, you know, Cherundolo, the manager, I want to thank Timmy Tillman. Like, he thanks everyone on the team but himself.
Which is crazy considering, like, bro played at the highest levels. He's the captain of the South Korean national team. Like, you don't really got to thank anybody at the end of the day. Like, if anything, he got to thank himself for putting the team on his back. You feel me?
It's
But
actually insane.
that just shows how humble he is as a person.
사실 이번 상대는 정규 시즌에서 2번 모두 LAFC를 1대0으로 제압한 오스틴 FC입니다. 하지만 현지 매체에서는 LAFC, 오스틴 FC전 해결책 준비 완료라는 기사에 오스틴이 이겼던 2경기에는 손흥민이 없었다라는 사실을 강조하며 손흥민 선수가 합류하는 경기들을 주목하고 있었습니다. LAFC 인터뷰 현장의 기자들 역시 손흥민 선수가 출전하는 오스틴전을 기대하고 있었습니다.
This will be the first chance against Austin with Sonny in the lineup. Obviously, he's a difference maker, but how do you see them accounting for him? They've beaten you twice, 1-0, very tight games. Do they have to change stuff because you have such an important player in the lineup? Do you expect them to? Well, I know you don't know what they're going to do, but just sort of this chess match situation. How much of a factor do they have to sort of deal with in Son Heung-min?
You know, I don't know. I mean, that really is a question for Nico. And you know, we have ideas to use Sonny and Denis in critical areas.
From your perspectives, how would Sonny usually prepare for those big matches?
Well, obviously you have your own performance to prepare, but at the same time, with his status, he's one of our leaders. He's got experience and a lot of maturity, and he tried to lead, you know, the team, the players around him. Try to bring, you know, his knowledge of the game, of the competition, his experience, and you know, and try, you know, to give the best to the team, you know. But we know how important is Sonny, and for sure he's going to play a big part of our team performance because he's the kind of player that can decide, you know, the result and can make the difference at any time of the game. So the first thing is to prepare as a team ourselves, you know, to deliver a good performance, and then obviously individually we need to increase our performance, increase our game, and try to dictate the game that we want.
LAFC의 팀 동료들도 손흥민 선수가 함께하는 플레이오프에 기대를 하고 있었습니다. 홀링스헤드, 좋은 컨디션의 손흥민이 LAFC를 MLS컵으로 이끌 수 있다라는 기사에서는 LAFC는 이번 시즌 정규리그를 서부 3위로 마무리하며 강한 상승세 속에 플레이오프에 진출했다. 홀링스헤드는 이 성공의 가장 큰 요인으로 손흥민의 합류를 꼽았다. 그는 손흥민은 팀 분위기와 경기력을 모두 바꾼 선수라는 말과 함께 손흥민이 합류한 뒤 우승의 꿈은 현실이 됐다라며 다가올 경기에 기대를 모으고 있었습니다.
You mentioned that the biggest difference between last year and this year is that players are more hungry and more eager. How much part has Son played in that?
Yeah, I think his arrival at a certain moment in the season was important, and you know we had a great start, first game in Chicago, and then away in New England, and just never really looked back from there. And so it really has given us some momentum and some added belief that on a good day we can beat anybody.
You've spent much of your career next to Sonny, and I'm just wondering your perspective on how he has changed this team, how he has prepared, the impact he can have going into the playoffs, and just what he's like to as a teammate, what he's like to play with.
No, Sonny used to have this responsibility. He used to have a big influence on his team, on his teammates. You know, it's not only on the field but also off the field. He's someone really positive. Brings a lot of energy, and also likes to give confidence to his teammate around him. But you can see already his impact. You know, it's been only a couple of weeks now, but his influence is huge. You know, and obviously we all want to see Sonny succeeding in the MLS, and we need to work even harder. You know, to help him, you know, to achieve what he wants and what he comes for, you know.
현지 매체에서는 오스틴 FC 감독, 아직까지 아무도 그들을 막지 못했다라는 기사로 오스틴의 쉽지 않은 경기를 예측했는데요.
And then given what you've seen of Son and Bouanga together, how do you stop them?
I mean, I think it's a collective effort, you know. I think probably since they've been playing, I think they've scored or contribute with assist in every game that they play together. Then none team has stopped them yet.
인터뷰에서 기자들은 벌써부터 손흥민 선수의 대표팀 차출에 대한 우려에 질문을 했습니다.
And I believe there is another international match that is upcoming next month. And I hope that LAFC is going to still play at that time. But at this moment, how are you going to prepare for during that period? Because Sonny's going to likely go back to South Korea for the Korean national team.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't thought about it. I choose not to think about it. I know it's coming. I have a calendar as well.
MLS컵은 독특한 경기 방식 때문에 매해 어느 팀이 우승하게 될지 예측하기가 힘들다고 하는데요. 그럼에도 손흥민 선수가 센세이션을 일으키길 MLS도 팬들도 기대하고 있습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
I say that Son probably had his worst game because of the fact that he will be even more dangerous as a goal threat. As a creator tonight, he was brilliant, but as a goal threat, he is going to get better and better as these playoffs move on.
You take him off this team is horrible. This is not a good team. I honestly believe that. You take him off this team's not good. And I truly believe that.
손흥민 선수가 다시 한번 자신의 클래스를 입증했습니다. MLS컵 플레이오프 1라운드 1차전에서 손흥민 선수는 92분간 양 팀 중 가장 많은 7번의 기회 창출을 하며 엄청난 활약을 펼쳤습니다. 비록 골과 도움은 기록하지 못했지만 통계 전문 매체 풋몹에서는 항상 경기에 영향을 미치는 선수라는 평가와 함께 양 팀 최고 평점인 8.1점을 주며 최우수 선수로 선정했습니다. MLS 공식 채널의 분석에서도 손흥민 선수의 활약을 높게 평가했는데요.
We've seen them at their best the last couple of months, and this is probably the worst they're going to play in these playoffs.
But we looked at the shots and then the shots on target in favor of LAFC. Let's be honest, Son was the best player on the pitch here tonight.
Yeah, Son was absolutely unbelievable tonight, and while he didn't get on the score sheet, he was so dynamic and he was so dangerous in the positions that he did pick up, running in behind, making sure that he was linking up with his teammates. I love the weight of pass every time with his final ball, Marcelo.
Listen, when you talk about world class, you're looking at it right there because look at his movement. He's always constantly looking over his shoulder. Look at the space. He pulls out, he opens up space for someone else. And this is what I like. Hollinghead takes the space that Son was there, but everything he does has a purpose. Either I'm going to move and receive a ball or I'm going to move and I'm going to open up space for somebody else.
And this is what I love about their connection. Denny Bwanga knows that he needs to make space. He needs to continue to move because Son will find him. Son, watch the weight of the pass. It's a perfect weight of the pass so he can take this on one touch. He doesn't get enough whip on it, but this is a perfect example of the exact same type of play. Denny Bwanga has to time his run well. Son Heung-min running at an exposed backline. That backline has to narrow off. He makes the right decision in the right moment to play it to Bwanga, to play it to his strong foot. I say that Son probably had his worst game because of the fact that he will be even more dangerous as a goal threat. As a creator tonight, he was brilliant, but as a goal threat, he is going to get better and better as these playoffs move on.
특히 전반 35분 수비수 4명 사이를 돌파한 뒤 왼발 슈팅을 하는 장면에서는 현장에 있던 해설가들조차 감탄할 수밖에 없었습니다.
LAFC down this right-hand flank this time. Son weaving in and out of the defenders, but a big save from Brad Struber.
Sometimes, Kay, it doesn't matter what your game plan is and how well you execute it defensively. World-class players are going to be able to create chances. It's exactly what Son Heung-min did there. It's a good save from Brad Struber.
Driving at that defensive unit. Son gets it to Bwanga. That one takes a deflection. It's in. Odaz touched it at the far post. Flag is still down for now. LAFC in front.
Son in transition. Watch this ball. Takes out both midfielders, and now Son is driving at that back line, holding off defenders. Good patience from Denny Bwanga. Now that slight deflection just takes it beyond Brad Struber. You see the reaction from Nathan Odaz because he makes a play on it thinking it might go beyond the post. It looks like he was in an onside position. Now they will check for sure to confirm that. But that's one of the best sequences we've seen from LAFC in the second half. The initial ball to cut out the defenders, to get Son on the ball on the half turn, running up that back line, and then the patience from Denny Bwanga.
It was the reaction of Odaz. He looked like he'd made a mistake.
현지 매체 역시 손흥민 MLS 플레이오프 데뷔전서 클래스 입증, 오르다스의 결승골로 LAFC 오스틴 제압하며 1차전 승리라는 기사에 후반 63분 존 갤러거의 동점골로 승부가 1대1이 됐지만 결정적인 순간 흐름을 바꾼 것은 손흥민이었다. 그는 경기 내내 수비 뒷공간을 집요하게 파고들며 오스틴 수비진을 흔들었고 후반 막판 결승골 장면에서도 역습 기회를 만들었다. 손흥민의 존재가 경기 전체의 리듬을 바꿔놓았다라며 손흥민 선수의 플레이를 높이 평가했습니다. 1차전은 경기 전 MLS 공식 예측과는 달리 쉽지 않은 경기를 펼쳤습니다.
It's very much a David versus Goliath in this game, but we've seen it before with Inter Miami and Atlanta United last year. You, of course, playing with Atlanta United. But for LAFC, Son and Denny Bwanga have been nothing but brilliant, almost the dynamic duo here in Major League Soccer. How do you stop them, Dax?
You have to hope they have an off night, especially with the form that we've seen them both in since Son's arrival. It's otherworldly, quite frankly. It's telepathic, their connection.
Son, sometimes he doesn't have to do his work just running in behind. We've seen him. He can pick up the ball, go to the edge of the box, shoot both feet. It's difficult to stop.
만족스럽지 못한 경기 내용에도 LAFC 팬들은 손흥민 선수의 경기력만큼은 극찬을 아끼지 않았습니다.
You know who I think looked really bad in the first half? I got to pin some blame on a guy who always disappears in big games, a guy who never shows up for his team when they need him most, Denny Bwanga. I mean, there was a chance that Denny Bwanga had. Son Heung-min put it right on a platter for him. Like, literally any guy who was competent would have scored this goal for LAFC, and he got it deflected. I mean, it was good defending, but my God, he should have scored that goal. I mean, it was a perfect setup by Son Heung-min. Denny Bwanga was a no-show in the first half. Made bad decisions, turned the ball over, bad passes, wrong runs, getting cooked in the pocket of Austin FC. I just think he was very, very poor in the first half. And another thing, too, about this midfield that I want to talk about, because the attack, like I said, we're used to this LAFC, a team being lethal in the final third. When Son Heung-min has to go from striker all the way back past the midfield line to get the ball, to move it forward to start the attack, is a bad sign. that he has to go that deep and he has to do that as the striker because nobody in this midfield can do anything. Son had to go all the way back past the midfield line to get the ball to bring it forward to try to create something in the attack, which is bad. The biggest concern too is like LAFC, this strong attacking team just has been rudderless lately. And it's not Sonny's fault. It's not. It's the people around him. It's Denny Bouanga who's missing these chances. It's Tillman who can't set anything up. It's Delgado who just really is useless in the final third. All these guys just don't. Even Palencia hasn't been that good lately. He doesn't have the team around him to do anything. You take him off this team is horrible. This is not a good team. I honestly believe that. You take him off this team's not good. And I truly believe that. And I want to say this too. Another issue with Dolo is he subbed out Sonny in the 91st minute. Okay. What would have happened if Austin FC had pulled one back, tied this game 2-2, and it went to penalties, and your best player is on the bench? What would have happened? I have no idea why he didn't let him play the remaining 3 to 4 minutes of this match, because this could have very easily went to penalties, because there is no extra time in the playoffs if it's tied at regulation. It goes straight to penalties for this best of 3 series. So if that had happened and your best player's on the bench, you're screwed. You're in trouble. So I don't really know what he was thinking. I have no idea what he was thinking in that situation to take him off the pitch. He was the one and only bright spot, I think, in tonight's match. I think, that's been a common theme for him this season, right? I mean, he has been the one consistency in this team, but that could have been catastrophic if they'd taken him out and it went to penalties. That could have been really, really bad and indefensible.
비록 팀은 완벽한 경기력을 펼치지 못했지만 손흥민 선수는 플레이오프 데뷔 경기에서 자신의 클래스를 입증했고 LAFC는 반드시 잡아야 할 1차전을 승리로 장식하며 시리즈의 주도권을 쥐게 됐습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
And then he said that they got that game-winning goal off his son. Son's brilliance.
And we do not win that game without Son on that field.
Earlier Sanchez, you can say whatever you want about him. Like, I'm so happy he's here.
Heung-min Son's aura is crazy.
Sure.
Shout out to him.
MLS 플레이오프 1라운드 1차전에서 손흥민 선수의 경기 지배력을 직접 체험한 축구 팬들의 반응은 어땠을까요? LAFC 팬들뿐만 아니라 상대팀인 오스틴 FC 팬들까지 그날 경기를 지켜본 모든 축구 팬들은 손흥민 선수의 플레이에 압도당할 수밖에 없었습니다.
LAFC, I mean, they've been hot lately, so it's no surprise to me that they would take it in game 1.
And the second goal in LAFC was just Son's just a little Son brilliance as always. Nicholas, any thoughts on the LAFC Austin series?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just feels like it does feel a little inevitable. It feels like a warm-up for LAFC. Team's just rolling. It's really scary to see Son, hitting his stride.
And then the criticism of LAFC, I was talking to Eric, which usually joins us, and I asked him if he could tell me what he thought about last night's game. And he said, well, Cherundolo, way too late with the subs, as is usual with Dolo. And then he said that they got that game-winning goal off his son. Son's brilliance wins them the game.
I thought he was kind of the little engine, like that kind of got everything working yesterday. Did not get into the scoreboard, Eric, but he had this beautiful run. He was running all over the place freely, right in the middle of the field. And, of course, you saw the goal, which should have been Bouanga's goal. What did you think of his game overall? Do you feel like he was responsible for the win, right? Even though he didn't got in the scoreboard. Let's talk about that.
I think Son's basically responsible for our last 8 wins, with the exception of the one that he was playing, where he was playing with his international team and we won. Son has completely made the difference on this team. If you look at our points average before Son showed up and our points average after, it's a massive difference. You know, Son has put the team on the back. You mentioned a bit about Dolo. I agree that Dolo didn't have a horrible game, you know, but a lot of the success is despite Dolo, and it's just because Son is here. He is at such a level of class, and we do not win that game without Son on that field. It's a draw or even possibly a loss.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else can we say about him? He's brought a completely different approach to this. You know, he's an icon. You know, Aaron Sanchez, you can say whatever you want about him. Like, I'm so happy he's here.
손흥민 선수는 이날 득점이나 도움 없이도 경기 흐름을 바꾸는 결정적인 장면들을 만들어내며 자신의 클래스를 확실히 증명했습니다. 당연히 LAFC 팬들의 마음을 단숨에 사로잡은 경기였는데요. LAFC에 2번이나 승리한 오스틴 FC였지만 팬들조차 이날 처음 겪은 손흥민 선수의 압도적인 클래스만큼은 인정할 수밖에 없었습니다.
You know, a lot of Haram ball.
Heung-min Son's aura is crazy.
Sure.
Shout out to him.
In terms of rooting for LAFC, yeah, that's a bigger number. I think it would be a noticeable amount, a sizable chunk of folks repping Heung-min Son for sure.
We're gonna do it hard. We're gonna get loud.
Bro, all I know is I gotta show up. I gotta rock the heartbeat kit, bro. Like if I'm wearing that thing correctly, it's gonna make us win the game.
How did you see this match on a general point of view?
Man, kind of scrappy. Ugly goals. I mean, lucky goals, deflections involved in some of the goals, own goal. Kind of like a scrappy matchup. If I'm trying to search for something positive, I feel like maybe we kind of did, you know, would you say held our own? You know, would you say against the Heung-min Son and Bouanga? You know, Son had a good shot in the first half. He also had a good movement in the second half. But other than that, I mean, we kind of kept him quiet.
100%.
Same thing with Bouanga.
I agree.
So, you know, those are the positives. And, you know, and if you're being honest, had we not scored that own goal, I mean, it's unfortunate from hindsight to tap it in, to reach for the ball. But we held our own for quite a big chunk of most of this game.
In a weird way, Austin had to go with LAFC. They had to go in a weird way.
Okay, no, I don't know if you
had to go.
I don't think you could put it. They had to go. I would much phrase it. Because I didn't see us having to go. I don't think we had to go.
Okay.
Per se. But how would you explain, like, we held our own, I think is a better way to say it, or we withstood the Son Bouanga star power?
Well, for me, this is how this game was.
손흥민 선수는 경기가 치러지면 치러질수록 팀 상관없이 경기력만으로 현지 축구 팬들의 마음을 사로잡고 있는데요. 손흥민이라는 EPL 출신의 대단한 선수가 보여주는 활약과 영향력에도 MLS 팬들은 충분히 빠져들고 있었지만 경기가 치러질수록 손흥민 선수의 진짜 매력에 빠져드는 팬들 역시 늘어나고 있었습니다.
The MLS has heated up. It's on fire because of a couple of names that we know. Lionel Messi, the legend, joined us not too long ago. But it became more fired up after a certain
Son. And
Son is shining, very much. Son is shining, weather is sweet. I think that Heung-min Son has really has had a menacing impact on the MLS. I think it's a name that everybody's fearing. And by all means, if there's a game of Inter Miami and LAFC, which we're hoping to have very soon.
And the fun part is this, that he's coming to the MLS at a time when he's not past his best. He is actually in to the later stages of his prime. He's still fit. He can run. He didn't lose that much pace. Or I didn't see him losing pace at all, to be honest with you, in the last game. So it's not like that he's a Thomas Muller who came after leaving Bayern Munich towards the end of his career. Or dare I say, Lionel Messi coming to MLS towards the end of his career, right? But Heung-min Son is coming in, no fancy baggage, no fancy contracts. He comes in, loves to play, does the job, makes his teammates play better, gels with the team, and I think he's making more impact. And dare I say, he's making more impact than Lionel Messi at Inter Miami for MLS. What do you say, Fardan?
What a statement. What a statement. Yeah, as we all know, Messi, when he came to Inter Miami, the collaboration with David Beckham and Suarez coming in and, you know, his former teammates coming in from Barcelona, Inter Miami was the only team that came in, and, you know, Apple TV doing the exclusive with MLS. And as the only team, the only player that everybody talked about in MLS was Messi and Inter Miami. In comes Son, and suddenly Heung-min Son, and we see Korean flags in the stadiums. We see buzz on Twitter. We see quality of the goals are much higher. So whatever Son is scoring, he's scoring bangers. He's doing tap-ins. He's assisting. The quality is much higher. So is he taking it to Messi? I mean, are they comparable? I don't know. Like, I think it's a sensitive topic.
Well, I think I can say my side of the story, what I can observe and what I've seen. Messi one was a business decision. It was impacting a certain demographics in this country. That's mainly the Hispanic population, right? That was that. And then they hope that the entire other population will come and see them play, which did not happen to an extent because Messi initially was not fit. He didn't play all the games and there was some this and that. Then they brought in Luis Suarez, past his best. Jordi Alba. Well, some might say arguably that past his best. They also brought in Rodrigo de Paul. But these are not creating these type of impact. You're watching Inter Miami games and it's like, okay, it's not it's for a neutral. It's not nothing exciting, right? You watch an LAFC game with Heung-min Son playing. This is very exciting.
Absolutely.
I mean, I watched the last two games and I was like, wow, this is good. This is end-to-end stuff. This is entertaining. So I know there's a bigger rivalry with LA Galaxy, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic came to play for LA Galaxy. David Beckham played for LA Galaxy. Landon Donovan played for LA Galaxy.
Right.
But Carlos Vela played for LAFC, right? But I think Heung-min Son, this feels different. This feels like this is the turning point of MLS. And it's been a long time coming. And it took a son to actually propel United States to the world right before the World Cup. So this is I think something that we can watch, we can cover, we can see what's going to happen. But Heung-min Son is not a business decision. It's more like a sporting decision. And that's what I'm liking about this. Messi, Beckham, Zlatan, these were more like business decision, right?
Pretty much.
Son coming in his prime is more like a sporting decision.
It is a sporting decision, but I feel like if he were to compare, like, you know, hey, do you want to play Champions League? Do you want to go to a La Liga team? Do you want to go to a Bundesliga team where obviously Bayern Munich would have taken him in a second because he will reunite with Harry Kane. And we know how good the Kane-Son combination was in the Premier League. But he kept in mind, hey, you know, the World Cup is next year. I can just get used to the US conditions. And I can tell my Korea, when I lead my Korean team in the World Cup, I can just tell them this is how the conditions are, because the weather in US is not the same everywhere. West Coast, East Coast, and they're going to be traveling to Canada too. And in MLS, they also have to travel to Canada. So I feel like Son is smart. He chose MLS over a different league.
Well, he said that it was not purely for money. And I don't think LAFC is paying him that much money. It was a sporting decision to create a difference in a country where soccer/football, let's just say soccer for Americans, is a growing sport.
MLS에도 축구에 대한 손흥민 선수의 진심을 알아봐주는 진짜 손흥민 팬이 더 늘어날 수밖에 없을 것 같습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
And when Son is on the field, he elevates everybody around him. He makes LAFC better. Tonight, he showed why he is one of the best players in Major League Soccer.
LAFC의 손흥민 선수가 플레이오프에서도 엄청난 존재감을 드러내고 있습니다. 오스틴 FC와의 2차전에서 선제골에 이어 4분 만에 두 번째 골의 도움까지 기록한 손흥민 선수는 팀을 MLS컵 플레이오프 8강으로 이끌었습니다. 오스틴 FC와의 1차전 당시 해설위원 덱스 맥카티의 말은 결국 현실이 된 것입니다.
I say that Son probably had his worst game because of the fact that he will be even more dangerous as a goal threat. As a creator tonight, he was brilliant, but as a goal threat, he is going to get better and better as these playoffs move on.
해설위원들은 2차전에서 맹활약을 펼친 손흥민 선수를 경기 최고의 스타로 선정했는데요.
It's time now for the star of the day. Danny Higginbotham, your pick.
It could only be Son, couldn't it? It's, it's obvious. When you look at it.
You've got Diego Rossi, Denny Bouanga.
No, Son. But the reason I've gone with Son is because we talk about his goals and things like that. He elevates everyone around him. If
like
Kev, if you were to play with him, you'd probably have a shot.
Easy. Let's not get crazy.
It doesn't mean he's going to be on target, but that's what he does. He could make really poor football that's good, Kev. For yourself. But what I'm saying is he's elevated this team. So not only is he an outstanding player, he makes everyone around him better. And I love him. I love his character. I love his work ethic.
Culturally, he brings so much, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I love his decision making. His decision making in the final third, he always makes the right decision. And something underrated that people might not recognize is the weight of his passes in the final third to set his teammates up. It's always the appropriate weight of pass, and it's always at the right foot to where they can finish with one touch or two touches. Danny's spot on. He makes everyone around him better, but then in decisive moments, if it's not Bouanga, it's him finishing plays off.
Son was the perfect signing for LAFC because when you sign a superstar, it gives the rest of your club belief that you can go and win every title and win every game that you're in. And when Son is on the field, he elevates everybody around him. He makes LAFC better. Tonight, he showed why he's one of the best players in Major League Soccer.
I also think the training ground, I want to bring that into the equation because we've all played with players that, sometimes want to turn up during the week, sometimes don't. When I played at Stoke City, Tony Pulis would call them midweek internationals. They were brilliant during the week. A Saturday, they would disappear. When you see a player like Son turn up, what he's done in his career, and he's training like he does every single day in training, there's no excuses for any other player. No excuses for them to go, if it's good enough for him, it has to be good enough for me. So it even goes into the training.
That's one thing, though, is to set the tone in training, but then to actually back it up every single weekend, every time you step on the pitch, you prove yourself not only to the opponents and everybody else you're playing with, but you prove yourself to your teammates, and you show just how good you are every time you're on the pitch. Son is that guy.
He joins midsummer, as does Thomas Muller. They'll face each other in the next game. Who's been a better signing for their team? Talk about impossible questions.
That's impossible. It's Son, but by a very small margin because he has made Denny Bouanga even better than what he was before. That's the best duo in MLS right now.
Okay, Sash and Danny are nodding away here. All right, good stuff.
팀 동료들을 성장시킨다는 말은 경기 중계에서도 확인할 수 있었습니다.
I was talking to Ryan Hollinshead early this week, and he said, hey, the moment I knew that Son was a part of the group was when he yelled at me in training. He said, that's my dog. He said LAFC needed a little bit of a push competitively, and Son has delivered that.
2차전이 시작되기 전 프리뷰에서 해설위원들은 오스틴이 이기기 위해서는 90분 내내 손흥민을 완벽하게 막아야 한다며 이번 역시 손흥민 선수를 중심으로 경기를 분석했습니다.
LAFC looking to make it 4 straight years, making it to the Western Conference semi-final. They're 90 minutes away. Big game to come then at Q2 Stadium. Danny Higginbotham, we always talk about how do you stop Son and Bouanga the way they're playing? You've been honing in on that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you can't do is you cannot do it individually. You have to do it collectively. And I thought Austin did it incredibly well.
Austin was really good at that in Game 1. That's why they were so effective at making LAFC look a little bit pedestrian in the attack.
But even then, Son got one opportunity to pick up a ball between the lines, strength to hold off the defender, dribble at the back line, make them collapse a little bit in a slip pass. You have to be perfect. You have to be 90 minutes strong.
이번 경기의 승패는 손흥민 선수와 부안가의 연이은 활약으로 이미 전반이 끝나기 전부터 LAFC 쪽으로 넘어갔습니다.
Lost. Careful here. The ball by Bouanga. They got Son Heung-min in open field. Bouanga continues his run. One-on-one with Ilie Sanchez. Son Heung-min! You mess with the ball! And Son Heung-min gores the Austin defense. LAFC with the breakthrough.
Well, Austin FC in position on the other side of the field, and the moment that that ball turns over, the efficiency in a transition moment is phenomenal. But then isolated 1v1, Denny Bouanga finds Sung Hyung-min. Isolated 1v1 with Ilie Sanchez. Going back a week ago, the physicality between these two players. Inside, outside, step over. Shows right, wants left. Quick little scissor moment. And then left foot laces, far post side net, just out of the reach of Brad Stuver. And LAFC with the 1-0 lead.
His phenomenal goal contribution record continues. This his 11th game, now 13 goal contributions, has 2 game-winning goals. We'll see if that one hangs up.
Guys, Brendan Heinzike told me before game 1 they knew they had to keep Son and Bouanga out of 1v1 situations. They would do everything they could to do that. It did not happen there. But we just saw an edge from Son, and it's not all megawatt smiles and fantasy football banter from him. And in game 1, Son and Ilie had their moments, not just off kickoff. In the first half, they had a yelling match as well. You better believe with the level of competitiveness of Son Heung-min, he enjoyed that moment and that goal.
Here it happens again. Stuver off his line. Son Heung-min plays around him. Open goal mouth. Couldn't get it across for Bouanga. Second goal. Bouanga. Yes. The dynamic duo have struck again. When the left one gets you, then the right one to Sano.
Well, we talked about margins for Austin FC, and now that they were down 1-0, how do they make sure in moments they're trying to get more numbers forward that they're still competent enough defensively to try to have an ideal shape? That's just not the case with this duo, Max. The ability of Sonny isolated, Stuver off his line, the quick little touch, and immediately you think it's dead on the cross ball. Back to the left side to find Denny Bouanga, and instead, watch how quickly Son Heung-min changes his footwork, left foot back across.
현지 매체에서는 MLS 손흥민과 부앙가 또 합작골, LAFC 오스틴 제압이라는 기사에 두 선수는 전반 초반 4분 사이에 호흡을 맞추며 연속으로 2골을 만들어냈다. 손흥민이 선제골을 터뜨리며 경기 흐름을 주도했고, 이어 부앙가와 완벽한 연계를 선보이며 점수차를 벌렸다. 손흥민은 1골 1도움으로 팀 공격의 중심에서 활약하며 경기의 흐름을 완전히 바꿔놓았다. 손흥민과 부앙가가 다시 한번 LAFC의 심장을 뛰게 만들었다라며 압도적인 경기력을 높이 평가했습니다. 플레이오프 1차전의 답답한 경기력에 아쉬워했던 LAFC 팬도 2차전에서 완전히 달라진 팀의 모습이 너무나 만족스러웠는데요.
LAFC returned to their lethal scoring self, and they looked absolutely incredible. And it started off with none other than Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min was incredible today. Incredible. In the 21st minute, he scored a clinical goal. Clinical. He cut left, shot with his left foot to the right side, went through the goalkeeper's or over the goalkeeper's foot, and then another Austin FC defender tried to slide and clear the ball, was unable to. I mean, it was just an incredible finish by Son Heung-min, and that set the tone for this match that made me believe, okay, LAFC is going to fire on all cylinders. And then just 4 minutes later, Son Heung-min is on the right side of the field. He's got Denny Bouanga wide open in the middle, in the box, and he passes it. It deflects, goes back to him, but then he finds Denny Bouanga. He's wide open, and I thought, okay, if Denny Bouanga misses this ball, if he misses this chance, you got to bench him. Not really, but you just wonder, how do you miss that? Denny, it's on a platter for you. Sony is setting you up perfectly. You got to finish this chance. This was a great game, great rebound, or great game after that poor performance in the first game. I don't think that they looked their best compared to what we've seen in previous matches, but they really, really solidified it. They really, really looked a lot better in this match than they had in previous games. And I think Sony is probably my man of the match. I know Denny had the 2 goals and the 1 assist, but this thing wouldn't have gotten going if it wasn't for Son Heung-min.
손흥민 선수의 LAFC 다음 상대는 역시 이전 전승으로 1라운드를 통과한 밴쿠버 화이트캡스입니다. 서부 준결승에서 밴쿠버에서 활약 중인 바이에른 뮌헨 레전드 밀러와의 단판 승부 맞대결에 벌써부터 많은 관심이 쏟아지고 있습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
Yeah, and I want to hate him so bad, and I can't.
Yeah,
he's like one of the most likable stars that I've ever seen in this.
Yeah, he really is.
Andrew, what did you think about his first goal?
Well, I loved it personally, and one of the big reasons I loved it personally, it was against Ilya Sanchez after he punked him at BMO, and
MLS컵 플레이오프 1라운드 2차전을 주도한 건 역시 손흥민 선수였습니다. LAFC는 손흥민 선수의 선제골과 도움으로 경기의 흐름을 지배하며 오스틴 FC를 압도적인 차이로 무너뜨렸습니다. 경기 직후 양팀 팬들의 리뷰에서 손흥민 선수의 합류가 경기에 얼마나 영향을 미쳤는지를 확인할 수 있었습니다.
Austin FC defeated 4-1 at the hands of the dreaded LAFC. How you feeling, my friend?
Definitely sad, man. Emotional for sure. Feel pretty defeated. Rightfully so. You were going to have to play a perfect game in this matchup and then get lucky on top of it to beat this team. Like that, you know, Son is one of the best players in the world, man. Like he's literally one of the best players in the fucking world.
What a game. I mean, that was it was a statement win against, you know, an awesome team that are who they are, you know.
Starting very early on with a statement goal by Sonny over who? Anyone but what? Ilya Sanchez. But, you know, the game starts pretty competitive for the first 15 minutes, and then Sonny does what he does.
You know, it really couldn't have gone any better for us.
오스틴 FC의 시즌 아웃을 가르는 경기였지만 경기 승패에 상관없이 손흥민 선수의 경기력만큼은 모두가 인정했는데요. 손흥민 선수의 선제골이 터진 직후 오스틴 팬들 역시 손흥민 선수에 대한 언급을 빼놓지 않았습니다.
And Bouanga plays it ahead to Son. He's got Ilya out on an island, and Son dekes him towards the end line and rips a shot inside that far post to open the scoring.
And then, you know, I say a prayer for Ilya when he's got Son bearing down on him, and like
for anybody to be fair.
do your best here, bud. You know, it's because like this guy's lethal, man. It was good to see him in person. I will say that he's a fucking hell of a player.
Yeah, and I want to hate him so bad, and I can't.
Yeah,
he's like one of the most likable stars that I've ever seen in this.
Yeah, he really is.
오스틴 FC의 실점이었지만 손흥민 선수에 대한 호감은 여전히 남아 있었습니다. 사실 오스틴 FC와의 1차전 당시 손흥민 선수에게 일리에 선수가 거친 파울을 하며 양 팀의 분위기가 이미 거칠어진 상태였는데요.
Yeah, you look up for the kickoff where Ilya just stepped into Sonny twice, which is ridiculous if you ask me. There's no need for that. But our response was excellent. I think you know, we won't back down for sure. That's not in the DNA of this group. So as long as it's fair, I'm totally fine with it. It's playoffs. Why not?
Ilya said that he thought Sonny came at him.
Watch it again.
체룬돌로 감독의 신경전처럼 2차전 손흥민 선수의 골은 LAFC 팬들에게 더욱 특별한 의미를 만들었습니다.
Andrew, what did you think about his first goal?
well, I loved it personally, and one of the big reasons I loved it personally, it was against Ilya Sanchez after he punked him at BMO, and Sonny just took it right to him and showed him who is in charge of LA now. And I loved it for that. I know some people love Ilya as a person, but when you do that to one of our players to start the game, at home, I respect the hell out of you for doing it. I never once saw you have the balls like that when you played for us. Like, you were a great player and you scored some goals for us, but we never once saw a bruiser like that. So I was very happy that Sonny scored that against him.
I am a huge Ilya fan. I love Ilya. I think he's a great, but yeah, I was glad to see that too. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was great.
So what I liked about Son was, number one, the drama he had with Ilya Sanchez and beating Ilya Sanchez. Mm-hmm. Also, the step over before the shot gets a bonus. Also, the shot being left-footed, although I don't know the Sun actually has an off foot, but technically his left foot is his weaker foot. So the step over, what they call it? The comeuppance on Ilie Sanchez, or I guess the hubris, the English would say.
첫 골의 충격이 가시기도 전에 4분 뒤 손흥민 선수의 어시스트가 터지자 오스틴 팬들의 반응도 터졌는데요.
And 3 minutes later on the broadcast, Max Bretos brought up, I thought, a wild stat that LAFC and Austin FC were tied for the best counterattacking defense in the league. They each allowed just one counterattacking goal in the regular season. So naturally, in the next 10 seconds, Heinz Eich plays a poor pass out to John Gallagher. Sergei Palencia steps in, takes it off him, and he sends Son out into space down the right. And here Brad Stuver rushes out to try to get it, but Son beats him too.
I'm not calling for you to hurt anyone or anything like that, but if you're Brad here, you have to foul this man.
Yeah.
You have to take him out. Yeah, it has to be, you know what I mean? And like, you'll take a card there, whatever. Yeah, you can't be like, okay, I'm going to run back from, I don't know how far out from the 18 he was, but it was a
30, 35 yards.
It was more than he ran all season long. You have to take him out here. I don't care how you do it. And then again, I'm screaming, foul him.
And then to turn around and Bouanga get one of those assists from
Bouanga is elevated by Sonny, and the list of players that could come to MLS and do that for Bouanga in LA and have it like actually work out between everybody it's a slim list of people. And Again, they hit it out of the park with these two, I think.
Sonny's nickname should be the Key because he's unlocked, didn't he? I mean, he's unlocked him. Like, he should be nicknamed the Key.
That's actually good.
Yeah, and because we're just seeing him like we've never seen him before. I don't know if he's never had a stretch where he was scoring this many goals in the last. I would like to know in the 12 games he's played how many goals he scored for LAFC. Talking about Denis since Sonny has been there, because it's got to be close to 15, I think, maybe goals he scored in the last 12 games. And
사실 아무도 예상하지 못했을 만큼 손흥민 선수의 활약은 MLS 선수들을 아득히 뛰어넘으면서 다음 시즌을 더욱 기대하게 만들었습니다.
As much success as you have had versus this LAFC team in the regular season the last 2 years, they swapped out Olivier Giroud for Son. Like, you know, they brought in one of the best players in the world. I still think they're the best team in the Western Conference. Give me Son versus anyone that they have in the West every time.
Sonny's first MLS postseason goal and assist. His chemistry with Bouanga, his leadership, his calmness in big moments. I mean, this is everything that you bring this man here for. And it was just beautiful that he got the first goal. He gets an assist. And it was just like, it felt like it just all fell in from there after he got that stress off of their back. You know, it's like, okay, now we're in the running where we got to go. Let's go after this. You felt like things opened up. What is it about Sonny that on this team that just makes the team look like they just feel more comfortable? What is it? Because it is visible. Well, after his first goal, you've seen the team sort of just fall in place. It was like at first second, it's all erratic, and then it just falls in and everything. All the passes are right. You're feeling comfortable. The runs are looking great, and it feels like it's all because of Sonny. Andrew.
Yeah, I think it comes down to leadership. I think leadership is something this team has been looking for and yearning for, whether or not they knew they needed it since Vela left. I don't think that there's been someone to look to towards that. And not saying that Bouanga isn't that person, but some people are just leaders and some are performers. And Sonny, you know, he's out there. He's directing how things should go since our coach doesn't. He's orchestrating plays. He's getting people into position. He's coaching them into what it's going to look like the next time it happens. I think anybody who is an athlete who, like, has that yearning and wants to be a sponge around just true leaders and winners like that. And when it comes time to it, our team's learning it and our team's better because of him through it. I love it. It's completely the leadership for me.
So basically, what does Sonny bring to LAFC in terms of experience and mentality?
Confidence. I think that just his pedigree as a player, to the Premier League, whatever it may be, and also not just about how good he is, but also his friendship, like the way he brings his teammates up, the celebrations. I don't know if you guys caught this, but when Abobase scored that goal last night, Sonny ran off the bench to the field to give him a hug, along with maybe it was Delgado. I don't remember. I think it was Delgado, if I'm not mistaken, the second player. But like just the energy, the confidence, the morale boost that he brings to this team on top of his pedigree of how good he is, you just can't. It's like second to none. You don't really see it that often. A lot of times a big name player will come in here with a big ego, kind of be distant, not really want to be like that, friendly, just kind of do their own thing. That's like the complete opposite of what Son Heung-min does. Like he is always trying to position his teammates to be better, even if he's sacrificing something for his own self, like not taking a penalty to try to help Denny get that hat trick. Just a very selfless player, man. And he just, like, that kind of stuff can build the confidence of your teammates. And then also to seeing him in front of you.
The guy has been stellar since joining LAFC and completely changed the direction of our season. I cannot stress that enough. This is Sonny's team.
MLS의 관심이 손흥민 선수에게 쏠리는 만큼 이번 시즌 합류한 토마스 밀러 선수와의 맞대결 역시 주목받고 있습니다. 뿐만 아니라 다음 밴쿠버와의 경기는 서부리그 2, 3위가 맞붙으며 역대급 티켓 가격을 경신할 것으로 전망되고 있습니다. 오늘 준비한 영상은 여기까지입니다. 영상이 재미있었다면 구독과 좋아요로 채널에 힘이 되어주세요. 더욱 유익한 이슈로 다시 찾아오겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.